The Baltimore Ravens were already in a tough spot after that blowout loss to the Chiefs. But what really has everyone on edge is what John Harbaugh said about Lamar Jackson. The way he answered questions left more doubts than clarity. And now nobody really knows what's going to happen with the team's most important player. Can you imagine losing your quarterback right when the season is already slipping away? And that's the mystery keeping fans awake at night. Harbaugh dropped a line that sounded like a serious warning, but he didn't explain anything beyond that. Is Lamar coming back soon? Or is this way worse than it looks? Right now, the truth is that everyone's stuck in uncertainty, and every little detail could completely change the direction of the season. After the beating against the Chiefs, the real concern in Baltimore wasn't the scoreboard. It was what happened with Lamar Jackson. In the third quarter, he went down with a hamstring injury and never came back. When head coach John Harbaugh spoke after the game, he made it clear there was absolutely no chance Lamar could return. According to him, the hamstring just wouldn't allow it. That one line felt like an alarm bell because it showed this wasn't just some minor discomfort. The tricky part is that Harbaugh refused to give away any details about how serious the injury might be. No timeline, no explanations. He only said he had a good sense of the situation, but wasn't going to comment at that moment. That silence created an uncomfortable tension. Fans, reporters, even teammates were left guessing whether this was just a precaution or something much more concerning. When the head coach keeps quiet, naturally everyone starts to picture the worst-case scenario. And the truth is, Lamar isn't just another player. He's the heartbeat of this offense. When he's out, the entire identity of the team shifts. There's no spark, no unpredictability, none of the energy he brings with his dual-threat style. So hearing Harbaugh admit Lamar had no chance of returning makes it feel even scarier, almost like a warning that this could take longer to heal than anyone wants to admit. That lack of clarity leaves the team in a cloud of uncertainty. The Ravens are 1-3, already behind the curve, and now they might lose their star quarterback right when the season is just beginning. It feels like a double punch. First a loss on the scoreboard, then the gut punch of doubt. What's most concerning isn't just what's already happened, but the possibility that Lamar could miss weeks, or even more. And that's where the big question kicks in. How is Baltimore supposed to handle this immediate pressure? That leads right into the next point, the direct impact the situation has on a Ravens season, which was already hanging by a thread before this bombshell hit. The start of the season was already bumpy for Baltimore. With just one win in 4 games, they're sitting at the bottom of the AFC North, tied with the Cleveland Browns. That alone should have been a red flag. But when you add uncertainty around Lamar Jackson, the alarm grows even louder. The Ravens don't have much margin for error if they want to chase a playoff spot, and losing their most important player at this point could be devastating. Sure, there's still a lot of football left, but everyone knows how the NFL works. Starting slow almost always comes back to haunt you. Sitting at 1-3 already puts the team in a hole, and try to climb out of that without Lamar is a whole different challenge. This offense simply doesn't operate the same without him, and every defensive coordinator across the league knows it. Baltimore needs wins fast to stop the bleeding, but now they might have to go hunting for those wins under much tougher conditions. And the AFC North doesn't forgive. The Bengals and Steelers are always in the mix, and every single loss matters in a division race that tight. Baltimore can't afford to fall further behind this early. That's why each game starts to feel like a must-win, and the pressure on the roster gets heavier every week. The shadow of a lost season is already looming, way earlier than anyone expected, and it's not just the fans who feel it. The locker room does too. This mix of a rough start and uncertainty around Lamar creates the perfect storm. Baltimore needs to bounce back, but they might have to do it without their best weapon on the field. That's what makes the next matchup, which once looked like a chance to reset, suddenly feel like a giant question mark. On paper, the matchup against the Houston Texans looked like the perfect opportunity for Baltimore to get back on track. 2 1-3 teams, both desperate for a win and a chance to reset at home in front of their crowd. But with Lamar's status in limbo, the entire tone of the game changes. What once felt like a rebound game is now a night full of tension. With no confirmation that Lamar will suit up, the entire game plan is stuck in neutral. Fans are waiting for answers. Reporters are pressing for updates. But so far, all they've gotten is silence. And honestly, just not knowing is enough to crank up the anxiety. If Lamar doesn't play, expectations immediately drop because the Ravens lose their ultimate weapon and are forced to rely on Plan B. The Texans aren't a powerhouse, but that doesn't matter in the NFL. When you're without your star quarterback, every opponent becomes dangerous. Houston will see this as a golden chance to take advantage of Baltimore's vulnerability and make their season even worse. For the Ravens, that means even a supposedly winnable game could turn into a major hurdle. All of this emotional weight makes Week 5 against Houston way bigger than it should be. It's no longer just another regular season game. It feels like a potential turning point. If Lamar can't go, the responsibility to carry the team in this crucial moment suddenly falls on a name few expected to be in the spotlight: Cooper Rush.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
When Lamar went down against the Chiefs, it was Cooper Rush who stepped in. And while he did a steady job, completing 9 of 13 passes for 52 yards with no touchdowns or picks, it was obvious the offense lost its spark. Rush isn't the kind of quarterback who threatens defenses with his legs. He doesn't stretch the field the same way, and that makes the attack much easier to predict. For a team built around Lamar's versatility, it's like slamming the brakes out of nowhere. That said, Rush isn't some untested rookie. He's got 14 career starts, mostly with the Cowboys, and he's held things together before when Dak Prescott went down. His numbers prove he can be solid. 60.7% completions, 1,844 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 5 picks in his last run as a starter. He's the kind of guy who can manage a game, but he's not the guy who flips it upside down by himself. The problem for Baltimore is that his style doesn't mesh with the way this team is built. Without Lamar's running threat, defenses can just lock in on the passing game and force the Ravens into a more predictable approach. That puts pressure on the wide receivers and the traditional run game to pick up the slack. Rush can be reliable, sure, but he doesn't bring that X-factor element Lamar always does. That's the dilemma Harbaugh and his coaching staff face. Adjusting the offense for Rush basically means reshaping the team's identity, even if just temporarily. It's a risky move, but maybe unavoidable, and highlights just how cornered the Ravens feel right now. And that sense of being trapped between two tough choices only adds to the cloud of uncertainty hanging over the team's immediate future. More than the injury itself, what's really unsettling in Baltimore right now is the lack of answers. Harbaugh made it clear he wasn't going to share details, and up to this point, nobody knows how long Lamar might be out. That silence is suffocating, because without a clear diagnosis, everyone's left in the dark. Fans don't know what to expect. Opponents are speculating, and the team itself has to practice without knowing who's going to lead the offense. That limbo doesn't fit the urgency of the NFL. Every week counts, every win matters, and being stuck in between he'll be back soon and he could miss weeks drains everyone's energy. For the players, it messes with confidence. For the coaches, it throws off the planning. And for the fans, it's just flat out frustrating because the entire season feels like it's on pause, waiting for clarity. The truth is, Baltimore is sitting at a crossroads where everything can change in just a matter of days. If Lamar comes back quickly, there's still time to recover, gain momentum, and re-enter the playoff race. But if the injury drags on, the season could spiral out of control fast. That thin line between hope and despair is exactly what makes this moment so nerve-wracking. And in the end, it's that silence about Lamar's true status that keeps the Ravens in suspense. Until an official update drops, the team has to prepare for the worst while clinging to the hope for the best. It's a cruel situation, but it perfectly sums up the team's reality right now. Living week to week, every game feeling like a must-win, not knowing if their franchise player will be out there to lead the way. The Baltimore Ravens are standing on the edge of a knife. The loss to the Chiefs already shook their confidence, but Harbaugh's silence about Lamar Jackson has only made things heavier. The team needs to bounce back quickly, but without their lead on the field, every step feels that much riskier. Uncertainty is the biggest enemy right now. And until there's an official update, Baltimore is trapped between hope and fear. And that brings us to the big question. How far can this team really go if Lamar misses extended time? The roster has talent, history, and fight. But without number 8, the path gets much steeper. The season is still alive, but the future of the Ravens hangs on an answer no one has right now. Do you think Baltimore can hold it together without Lamar? Or is this the moment the season slips away?
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.